This is AEDT 2150U, Digital Technologies and Advanced Teaching Methods. In this video capsule, we will discuss tools you will be using in this course. The analysis questions. Why should we use a wiki? What conventions must be in place to ensure the good functioning of collaborative platforms? Why should we use an aggregator? Let's pretend we want to write a wiki page on rare apples that grow in a particular valley in a particular way. Assuming that we already set up our wiki, we could begin by saying what we think of apples. In this case, what we think of X. I could say, these rare apples are central to the ecosystem in the Plastic Valley. And Louise could say that these rare apples reproduce themselves through the roots of apple trees. Then a few students can come into the wiki, and rather than having my statement and Anne-Louise's statement, they could edit the two passages and say that apples are an essential component of the ecosystem in the Plastic Valley, partly because they reproduce through their root system, but also because they are in symbiosis with a particular mushroom that grows in the ground and helps feed worms that in turn feed a rare kind of bird that reproduces in the Plastic Valley. This bird also eats seeds that fall from the apple trees in the autumn. These seeds are the main food component of the fat rats that hibernate in Plastic Valley. When these birds eat the seeds, the rats are not present anymore. John adds a few lines in the wiki and offers the link to various resources. Rima consults the links that John offered and realizes that she also has interesting references to share. She adds a few book titles about fiction and non-fiction references to Apple. Jack, who has been growing apples in his backyard, shares his experience and links the wiki to the blog he was moderating for apple farmers in the Plastic Valley. The new items posted by Jack inspire Alice, Zane, Leo, Alan, Helen, and Bonita to share their photos, YouTube videos, and sales reports and return on investment in Plastic Valley. When looking at all the resources that have been added by the editors and contributors, John realizes that there should be 2 pages on these rare apples, one on the big green ones and one on the small red ones. After all, these 2 types of apples seem to have telling 2 different stories. But before gathering all this information, there was no way of telling them apart. The initial wiki page helped make that difference. John also noticed that, on one hand, some information was added to the wiki without mentioning its source, which prevented curious and interested readers to multiply knowledge and consult the direct source. On the other hand, some information was repetitive, while other was inconsistent with what was discussed. At some point, readers found themselves wondering which information was correct and which was not. When this issue was brought up through several comments in the wiki, members started referencing. This not only helped distinguishing between members' personal experiences and research they consulted, but also helped reinforcing their arguments while they presented different perspectives of looking at the value of apple agriculture in the valley. In addition, referencing prevented plagiarism. Throughout this course, as you work on your assignments, you might feel at one point that you are drowning in information. You will find a lot of web resources to top up those that are suggested in the course outline. Throughout the synchronous and asynchronous interactions, other students will post interesting material. You will also start to follow groups, individuals, and companies. You will subscribe to blogs, newsletters, video channels, and many other sources of information. Perhaps you will feel overwhelmed. You will not only have your regular coursework to do and your course readings, but also you will feel as though you need to set aside time to stay on top of the additional readings that others are posting on an ongoing basis. Additionally, you will do your own research and find interesting sources of information to post for others. If you don't do anything about this, you will be rapidly submerged in information overload. Max, on the other hand, seems to be one of the students who is the calmest of all. Do you want to know his secret? Well, Max knows how to use aggregators. According to Wikipedia, aggregator refers to a website or computer software that aggregates a specific type of information from multiple online sources. We have different categories of aggregators. For example, the data aggregator is an organization involved in compiling information from detailed databases on individuals and selling that information to others. The news aggregator is a computer software or website that aggregates news from other news sources. The poll aggregator is a website that aggregates polling data from upcoming elections. The review aggregator is a website that aggregates reviews of movies or other products or services. The search aggregator, for example, is a software that runs on a user's computer and fetches, filters, and organizes a specific search from various search engines. With the social network aggregation, we will have the collection of content from multiple social network services. And the video aggregator is a website that collects and organizes online video sources. The synthesis questions. How can Wiki serve us in this course? Aside from the conventions proposed in the course outline, what conventions can you propose to ensure the good functioning of the course Wiki? And how can aggregators serve you in this course?